work with patient-derived neurons and brain organoids using induced pluripotent stem cell technology. We work with a few brain disorders such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, autism, Parkinson's disease, and multiple system atrophy. We measure the neurons that we derive from the patients, both with electrophysiology and with different methods of molecular biology. And we're seeking the differences between these neurons and the control neurons from the healthy individuals. This allows us to understand first the mechanisms, but it also allows us to develop treatments. For example, in autism, in green to B related mutations, the green to B gene is the gene or the receptor of learning. We have identified 3 or 4 compounds that can change and alleviate the neuronal phenotypes, and soon patients will start to receive these in the clinic. Additionally, we work with biomarkers to predict psychiatric disorders, drug response, and suicide risk. So, for example, bipolar disorder is a devastating disorder, affects 2% of the world population. This is the disorder with the highest risk of suicide. Approximately 40% of the patients will attempt suicide, and 10% will succeed in their suicide. And we have identified those genes that distinguish those that are at high risk of suicide and those that will probably never attempt suicide. Lithium is kind of considered a miracle drug. It's usually the first line of treatment for bipolar disorder patients. However, only 30% of the patients respond to lithium. And we are able, using these biomarkers, to distinguish between those that will respond to lithium and those that will not respond to lithium. So using these techniques and approach of a personalized medicine, now the psychiatric patient can come into the clinic. Just by a simple blood draw, we will know to tell him whether he will respond to different medications and whether he is in increased risk of suicide. I think we are the only ones using these biomarkers, and we find them to be able to predict with high accuracy. So we recently published 2 important papers about the prediction. For lithium response, it was published in Nature's Molecular Psychiatry, and with the suicide, it was published by Nature's Translational Psychiatry, and it both were covered by HALEX. I did my bachelor's in electrical engineering at Tel Aviv University, and then I joined the Weizmann Institute for my master's and PhD degree. After that, I left with my 4 kids and my husband for a postdoc in San Diego at the Salk Institute. Haifa University, a beautiful university. We reside between the mountains and the Mediterranean Sea. I was very fortunate to become a Zuckerman faculty scholar. It allowed me to not worry about funds and really focus on the science, buy the equipment that I needed, and recruit the best personnel that I can. I have a big lab. Currently, I have approximately 20 people. So I think my message would go to the female scientists, because I have 4 kids and a husband. Of course, for us, it's more difficult. Yes, we do have to put in the special effort, but it's possible, even with a large family. Now I'm in a position where I'm a successful scientist, and I think it was worth all of it.